this is the first camp I can enjoy myself and be back. My headspace that I'm in now is way better than what I was before, and that's the only thing that mattered to me.
A lot of things out there about the size and all of this stuff, but people forget that Tank's a top 10 pound for pound fighter, and he's got power in both hands. And skill-wise and technique-wise, he's been doing this for so long.
In this fight, I feel like Tank has the edge for sure. He's a real fighter, and got skills, high IQ fighter. Regardless of the weight, I've personally seen Tank, spar heavyweight.
Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis. A fight nobody saw coming. Two stars from completely different worlds are about to share the same ring. Both are driven, both determined to prove they're the best. The tension is building and the hype is real.
It's night and day, right? You have to understand, I went from doing YouTube and Disney Channel to 5 years, once to twice a day, 6 to 7 days a week, training, recovery, taking it more serious than ever. I'm just a different specimen. My body is filled out. I'm going into my athletic prime and going into that, and my body filling out, I just feel amazing. It feels super strong.
Jake Paul has been vocal about his intense training for the Gervonta Davis fight. He insists he's bringing serious talent into his camp and proudly claims to have dropped sparring partners. Jake even revealed that Shakur will join him this week to help him prepare for the showdown with Tank. In a rare moment of honesty, Jake admitted something unusual for him, that Tank is dangerous. Many criticize Davis for being the smaller fighter, saying he's too short to compete with someone Jake's size. But Jake completely rejects that talk. He acknowledges that Tank's power is real, dangerous in both hands. He knows Tank can hit like a truck, even with his smaller frame. Jake admitting he's afraid to step into that ring is a powerful statement. It shows the respect he has for Tank's knockout power and skill. That fear proves this fight is far from the publicity stunt many think it is.
Going into a fight that I've actually ever been, because I know how good these people are that I'm sparring, and being able to see how good they are and knowing how good Tank is, it's actually gonna be my toughest test to date.
Yeah, I think, Jake, you could make the argument, right? Pound for pound wise, this guy's the most ferocious dude in the whole sport, couldn't you?
For sure. I think he has probably one of the highest knockout percentages in
90-something%, right?
Exactly. And just his speed, his elusiveness, his ring IQ, his conditioning. He's gone 12 rounds so many different times, something that I've never even done. So he's going to be sharp all the way through. I mean, the list goes on. And so just actually being vulnerable for a second, it's like, this is crazy. This is scary. It's kind of keeping me up at night.
Jake, how do you prepare for, like you said, a guy who is shorter than you? How do you find a sparring opponent to replicate something that obviously, there's nobody else out there that's Tank Davis? How do you prepare for a guy that's different stature-wise?
Yeah, no, we have world champions. Raymond Ford in the 130-pound weight class. We got Montana Lovin. Shakur Stevenson is coming in this week. So wow. Just sparring against guys on their level and people who have been doing this their whole entire lives, but we're really focusing on speed. And not as much on power. I'm not doing as much like weightlifting and all of that stuff. I'm actually trying to lose some muscle so that I have less weight and so that my punches are coming off faster.
Many fans don't know the real story behind Tank's journey. From the very beginning of his career, he's sparred with heavyweights. Not just any heavyweights, but skilled ones who knew exactly how to control the ring. According to Showbiz, a respected analyst, Tank didn't just survive those sessions, he dominated them. He punished men much bigger than himself. If Tank can handle huge fighters in the gym, then a cruiserweight like Jake Paul won't surprise him. Jake might be larger, but Tank has already faced and conquered bigger challenges. Those sparring stories prove Tank is no stranger to standing before giants. The analyst added that the heavyweights Tank sparred with were far more technical and experienced than Jake. Jake Paul has improved tremendously, transitioning from influencer fame into real boxing. Still, he's learning, still mastering the fundamentals. Tank, on the other hand, has been fighting elite talent since his teenage years. If he could dominate fighters much heavier and more skilled than Jake, then Jake's size advantage might not mean much. As Showbiz put it clearly, Tank facing Jake isn't a mismatch for Tank. It might actually be Jake stepping into dangerous territory.
Or bigger people, like from middleweight to heavyweight. And the thing is, don't be surprised, okay? This is a photo. This is a photo of one of the bigger guys that he was sparring. But in the past, you know, like maybe a few years ago, he was fighting a guy in Mayweather's camp. He was a bigger guy. I think he was like a middleweight or something like that. He was whooping his ass. One time he was like on live whooping a bigger guy's ass. I mean, he's just beating bigger guys like middleweights and stuff. He's done that in sparring forever. Remember this story? I've brought it up a million times and I've showed this clip a million times, but on Ellie Set Back. This story of this guy saying how Gervonta Tank Davis knocked out this heavyweight.
Tell me the story. What happened?
Tank, what's the one boy name?
No, don't say a name. I don't want to embarrass anyone.
Oh, no, you're right.
But tell people what happened.
Man, I was about to spar. Before I was about to spar Tank, he was sparring this big boy.
A
Heavyweight boy. And Tank hit that nigga. He hit him so hard that he was on the top of the rope just like this. I'm like, I thought he died. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought he died.
Hey, I've seen him knock out some heavyweights. He might knock all the ass out now.
You knocked out a heavyweight?
Yeah.
How was that?
Because I hit harder than Wilder.
Now, granted, the heavyweights that Gervonta Tank Davis is whooping and sparring is not like, you know, all-time great heavyweights, all right? And it shouldn't be. But he's sparring the heavyweight, the level of heavyweight that, you know, more experienced than Jake Paul, right? But Jake Paul has beaten those heavyweights himself, all right? I'm thinking that is the caliber of heavyweight that Gervonta Tank Davis is sparring, but he's whooping their asses. And that's a good thing. Honestly, with Jake Paul sparring Raymond Ford, to me, it looked like Raymond Ford got the best of him. It looked like Jake Paul was a little exhausted, and it looked like Raymond Ford wasn't. It looked like Jake Paul was a little disappointed in his performance, and Raymond Ford was trying to give him a pick-me-up. Like, you know, just kind of letting him know. No, like, you know, we do this and do that. It just looked like Raymond Ford was in a confident, secure place, more dominant place, the more alpha out the two in the ring, and that's Raymond Ford. That ain't Gervonta Davis. You know, I love Raymond Ford. I have him on my fighters list. But still, I don't think anyone thinks he's as skillful or as powerful as Gervonta Tank Davis.
Tank has made a clear decision about his future. He's not returning to 135 pounds. The weight cuts were too harsh, the drain too much. He wants to stay strong, fresh, and fight at his full potential. Moving up to 140 pounds reflects his growth and maturity as a fighter. It's a sign that he's preparing for bigger names and tougher challenges, including the Jake Paul fight. After that showdown, Tank plans to remain a full-time super lightweight. He believes he'll perform even better there and aims to dominate the division once he proves himself again on a massive stage. By staying at 140, Tank is opening up a wider range of opportunities. Some fans think the new weight puts him at a disadvantage against Jake, who's naturally heavier. But Tank sees it differently. He believes this is where his body feels strongest, where his stamina improves, and his punching power becomes even more dangerous. At 135, he was already delivering highlight reel knockouts. Now, he's aiming for show-stopping power. This new division might make Tank more dangerous than ever before, and Jake Paul could be the first to experience this evolved, more powerful version of Tank.
Or had been throwing fits a few weeks ago when Gervonta had announced that he would be fighting Jake Paul in, I believe it's coming up in just about a month, or a little bit less than a month, and that he would not be, at least immediately, he would not be rematching Lamont Roach. So people went all up in arms. Shout out to my guy, Big Dog Willie, who even right now is claiming that Gervonta Davis is gonna go try to fight in WWE or something like that when he gets done with Jake Paul. But the truth of the matter is that Gervonta Davis is coming back to boxing. He's always said that he's coming back to boxing. He said he's gonna run off, get this bag real quick, and he'll be right back. Well, as you see, the 135-pound WBA, the WBA, where he holds his 135-pound championship, has not stripped him. They said that they were going to look into it if he had not rematched Lamont Roach, but nothing ever really came of that. So as of right now, he still has his 135-pound title, but I'm telling you, the way that things are panning out, I don't think he's going to go back down to the 135-pound division. I think he's going to go to the 140-pound division where really and truly all the smoke is there. Add to it the fact that when he fights Jake Paul, he's going to be fighting Jake Paul at a higher weight than he would necessarily be fighting guys at 135 pounds. You're probably not going to see him drain down for the fight. I don't think he's going to bulk up at all, but usually even when guys play with their weight and they go up and allow themselves to fight at a higher weight or fight people at higher weight classes.
Carmamel Moughton shared his thoughts, saying Tank clearly has the advantage. He explained that Tank's experience sparring with heavyweights means size won't be an issue. Jake's bigger frame doesn't change the fact that Tank is the smarter, more skilled fighter. According to Carmamel, the real difference lies in skill level. He views Tank as a master boxer, while Jake is still learning the craft. He predicts not just a win for Tank, but a dominant, convincing one. Carmamel knows Tank personally and sees his dedication every day behind closed doors. That first-hand insight gives his prediction real weight. As he puts it, talent beats size, and skill always beats strength. Lessons Tank continues to prove through action.
Tank versus Jake Paul.
I feel like it's gonna be a good fight, entertaining. It's an exhibition, so we're gonna see how serious they really take it, but I don't know, they both getting a lot of money, so, congrats to them.
What if you had it, who has the edge in this fight?
I feel like Tank has the edge for sure. He's a real fighter, and got skills, high IQ fighter. Regardless of the weight, I've personally seen Tank, spar heavyweights, and even me, I spar heavyweights, So the weight's not really too much, for a lot of great fighters, so I feel like Tank will get it for sure.
Do you think he kind of be an advantage because he's small and fast? Someone said that. I'm I didn't think about that actually.
Yeah, possibly. He gonna see a lot of Jake Paul's punches coming. He can better evade them and then set him up for a big counter.
Wait, but do you think this is gonna be different than the other Jake Paul fights we've seen, against Mike Tyson and Julio Cesar Chavez? I know a lot of people weren't the happiest with that, but I feel like Tank's gonna give him a different fight. Do you think so?
I think so. We'll see how he adapts because a lot of people think it's hard, for a small guy to be fighting a bigger guy, but it's also hard for a big guy to be fighting a smaller guy. It's a small target, they're very fast, so we'll have to see how he adapts to it.
Wait, and is Floyd Mayweather versus Mike Tyson really happening?
Yeah, that's happening.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Wait, is there a date already, or what's going on?
I don't think there's a date yet, but it's definitely an official fight and it's happening.
So what do you got to say about that? What's going on?
It's gonna be a great show. Floyd's gonna do his thing. Hopefully I'm on the undercard so I can put on a great show as well.
No, really? You guys already talked about that?
Not yet, no, but we'll have to see. Yeah, for sure.
And are you gonna fight again this year? What's next with you, Carmel?
I don't know. At the moment, we haven't heard nothing. We're just waiting, staying patient, staying ready. But I should be back at least one more time before the end of the year.
When the fight was first announced, Shakur Stevenson was one of the loudest critics. He openly questioned why a top-level champion like Gervonta Davis would choose to fight a YouTuber-turned-boxer instead of another elite professional. To Shakur, the matchup felt like an insult to the sport he's devoted his life to. But now, the situation has taken an unexpected turn. Reports suggest that Jake Paul offered Shakur a financial incentive to join his training camp, helping him prepare specifically for Davis's style. This sudden involvement has left many fans puzzled. Analysts point out that if Shakur truly believed the fight disrespected boxing, he wouldn't have gone near it. Yet, as soon as an appealing offer appeared, he decided to take part. The same fight he once mocked as a circus is now the one he's helping shape from the inside. Observers see this as a perfect example of how quickly opinions in boxing can shift, especially when money becomes part of the equation.
A lot of money to help him in camp, some easy money to come spar somebody or whatever, go get your money, right? But what's funny to me is for someone who had nothing positive to say about this fight, and someone who was critical of Tank Davis for taking this fight and tried to shit on Tank Davis for taking this fight, he sure is doing whatever he can to be a part of it. He sure is doing whatever he can to be a part of the fight. And then to take that a step deeper and a step further, for someone who doesn't want to talk about Tank Davis anymore, he sure is making moves to ensure that he is continued to be mentioned with Gervonta Tank Davis. Shakur Stevenson is not stupid. The new firm that he hired to do his PR work and get him to do these interviews and try to enhance his brand, they not stupid. Jay Prince not stupid. Josh Dubin not stupid. The people around Shakur Stevenson have been building social media brands, building boxers, and building talent in different industries at the same time. I mean, for a long time. They know how this shit work. They not dumb. They know the conversation that is going to surround Shakur helping Jake Paul. Tank Davis' biggest rival going to camp to help Jake Paul. If Jake Paul has any kind of success in the fight, Jake Paul was successful because Shakur Stevenson is on a different level and he helped prepare Jake Paul for the fight with Tank. That's why Jake Paul did so good. They know this, bro. And to me, that's the problem that I always have with these guys like Shakur Stevenson. You can throw Lamont Roach in there. You can throw Devin Haney in there, bro. You can throw Keyshawn Davis in there if you want to. My issue is they won't admit what it is. And I guess it's an ego thing, it's a pride thing, because I get it, bro.
Offset offers a different perspective, focusing on the physical side of the matchup. He believes Jake Paul's size and natural strength could give him a real chance to win. The weight difference is clear, and Offset thinks that if Jake lands the right punch, it could completely change the fight. Still, Offset acknowledges Gervonta Davis's exceptional skill. He points out that Davis is the kind of fighter who can dodge punches, counter in an instant, and make opponents miss all night. So, while Offset leans slightly toward Jake because of his size, he also admits there's a strong possibility Jake won't even land a clean shot on Tank. In his eyes, this fight is a fascinating clash between size and skill. A big, powerful challenger facing a slick, masterful champion.
You saw Jake Paul and Tank Davis?
I don't understand how that's happening, though.
I mean, that's kind of what Jake Paul does, right?
That nigga's 7'8". 6'7". I'm not saying 7'8". Like, the nigga's 6'4".
So you think Jake wins?
Yes.
This is kind of like the Mayweather versus Logan Paul fight. And Mayweather, he got the better of Logan for sure. I think Logan's even bigger.
Than Jake? Fuck no.
Logan's bigger than Jake, yeah. Like bigger, yeah. But Jake's now a more experienced boxer than probably Logan was at that time.
I don't know. That weight shit, man, that shit is a real thing.
What's the odds on that shit? I wonder. Not out yet?
Who do you think will win out of Canelo?
I don't really follow boxing like that.
Canelo, man. I like
Canelo.
I like my boy, but Canelo's just a.
Canelo's a beast.
He not old. He still got it. He got them. He hit hard as a motherfucker. And then like the fighters he fought and lost to was some dogs though. Like most people won't get in the ring with him. So it's like I feel like I don't know. Has he got this? I don't know. I feel like he gonna win though. What's that? What's the odds on that?
Oh, listen to this. Davis is minus 205 to beat Jake Paul. Jake Paul's plus 155.
Wow, that's tight odds. Tank Davis is minus 205. Jake Paul's 155 opening odds.
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy. I don't know.
Tank 5'2" though, but it's like he's so short.
Fast.
Man.
Yeah.
I'm saying the height difference is
like,
crazy.
is Jake even gonna be able to hit him? Like, he's probably so fast. Tank's gonna be able to hit Jake.
He's short though.
Tank's gonna hit him a lot, right?
How tall is Tank? 5'7". He's like 6'3". So different. That's
no, I know.
6'3" and big. Now technique, you got him in technique because he's for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I gotta see that fight. That shit sound crazy.
You gamble on football? You sports bet?
You have to pay him a lot of money to that fight.
Oh, they're making so much money.
Some analysts have pointed out that many of the fighters who criticize Davis aren't doing it out of concern for the sport. It comes from envy. They argue that jealousy has followed Davis since the start of his career, and now that he's about to make a massive payday in a single night, that envy has only grown stronger. These analysts believe that most of the critics would gladly take the same opportunity if it were offered to them. Instead of celebrating Davis for securing a record-breaking fight, they continue to attack his choices. According to these experts, much of the negativity surrounding Tank comes from those who simply wish they were in his position.
Fire! I get the chance to pick a great business mind brain and help give him some game in the process. I'm down. Oh, we know you're down. So for one, you look like you hating on Tank, bro. Like you specifically. Two, this is the same guy that said he's not watching the fight, but now you're somewhat taking part in the fight because you're trying to gather or help prepare Jake Paul for the fight. And then this is what Shakur Stevenson does, in my opinion. Shakur will make questionable choices, do certain things, right? And Then afterwards, he'll be like, yeah, now that I got y'all attention, I got everybody mad at me. Bro, the stuff you're doing is weird. You know what I mean? And it's almost like, to me, it's almost close to like Karen behavior, in the sense that Karens, you see some of these Karens and they do all this extra stuff and then act like the victim. And I told you that's one of the main problems with Gen Z, right? Where Gen Z, they will do just weird things, make weird choices, make weird decisions, and then they'll act like, man, I'm Tupac, me against the world, everybody's against me. Everybody's not against you. You're just doing weird things. You're making weird decisions, it's weird behavior, so on and so forth. So let's ultimately recap. We got to do the Boxing Ego recap to see what's really going on here.
There's also been debate about the rumored earnings for this fight. Figures like $20 to $40 million seem reasonable to most analysts. But when some reports claim both fighters could make nearly $200 million each, skepticism quickly follows. Many within the boxing world believe those numbers are exaggerated, too good to be true. While the fight is massive and the attention it's getting is undeniable, experts still find it hard to believe either fighter could earn that much in one night. For now, the exact payouts remain a mystery. Impressive, but uncertain.
It says 150 to 200 mil.
That'd be the most any athlete's ever made in one event, in one night. Where are they getting that money?
I mean, it's Netflix.
Okay. Mike Tyson didn't make that. Jake Paul didn't make that.
Yeah. 20 million, I would believe, not 200 million.
20 million seems realistic.
That's a lot.
Even because Netflix is bigger, but there's no pay-per-view model, so. And Gervonta is a big pay-per-view draw, especially for being a lighter weight class.
Yeah.
So 20 to even 40 I can get.
Oof, that's a lot.
40 I can understand.
When push comes to shove, though, like 20.
Like Canelo's getting that 40.
Yeah.
But Gervonta Davis, he was, especially on Showtime, he's a big pay-per-view star.
Yeah.
He's a knockout artist. 200 mil is just completely false.
Man, I mean,
you swipe. What it says? Swipe to read more. What else does it say?
No, there's nothing there. That's probably from the original.
God, Jake is so much bigger.
Yeah, man.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned for more updates and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss what comes next.